What's good, people? It's your boy NLG. Welcome back to the channel. You know what it is. Great weekend for Arsenal ahead of this big Champions League night against Olympiacos. Honestly, I think we have some favourable fixtures coming up. And I wanted to speak today about Arsenal and Liverpool's next 5 Premier League matches. Obviously, now the gap between Liverpool and Arsenal is only 2 points after Liverpool dropped points to Crystal Palace on the weekend. Your defence is in trouble when Nketiah's in the room. They told you, man. Yeah, shout out Eddie and Nketiah, but also more importantly, which has always been the thing with Arsenal, we got our job done. When another team drops points, we get our job done. And then we let the panic set in for the other team. Liverpool picked up another loss yesterday against Galatasaray in the Champions League. You know, this might be the beginning. We know Liverpool are solid. They're still the leaders. They're still defending the title win. But this could be the beginning. We know their defense is shaky. Obviously, yesterday was a penalty. So you can't, count that from open play. But let's look at the next 5 games for Liverpool and Arsenal here, because I think this is going to be a crucial 5 games ahead of Christmas. Let's have a look at what this is saying. Let's chat, people. By the way, I'm at work. Shouldn't really be waffling about this here, but you know what? Sometimes it needs must. Okay, so looking at Liverpool's fixtures, so they've got Chelsea this weekend, going to be a tough game away to Stamford Bridge. Then they've got Man United at home. Say what you want about that fixture. Man United are not great, but honestly, you never know what might happen. They're at Anfield, so they're likely going to win that game, but you never know. Brentford, Liverpool. Listen, Brentford are no mugs, Brentford are no mugs. That's going to be a tough game. They're not doing the best this season. Let's keep it real. They're sat in 13th. So they're not having the best form of their life. However, that's also going to be a tough game for them in terms of physicality and fight as well. The manager also is under a lot of pressure at Brentford. Then you've got Villa and Liverpool. This is going to be a big one. Let me say, Unai Emery knows how to take points off big teams. He's done it to us in the title race. Ollie Watkins finally finding his shooting boots. They're being a bit more dangerous and adventurous in their play as well. So that's going to be quite a big one for them. And then the all big game, Man City versus Liverpool. Now, that is a game away at the Etihad as well. So, look, you've got what? How many away games are they playing here? They've got 2 away games. So they're away at City, they're away at Chelsea, they're away at Brentford, actually. So they've got 3 away games in the next 5, which are going to be super tough against big opposition. So how many points do you expect them to pick up? How many points do you expect them to be picking up out of those 5? Because, 15 points up for grabs. If we take a look at it, go back to it real quick, it's kind of a tough one. They could drop points at Chelsea. I say they might get 10 points, maybe 3 wins. I say maybe 3 wins and a draw, but I think they could drop 5 points in that period. And then let's speak about Arsenal. Arsenal's next 5 games for Mikel Arteta. So we've got West Ham on the weekend, and they've obviously got Nuno Espirito Santo after letting Graham Potter go. However, I expect we pick up 3 points. I know there's a new manager bounce type of thing, but I honestly think that win on the weekend against Newcastle away at St. James's Park, we've had some friggin' tough. When you look back on it, when you look back retrospectively now and look at the games we had to start the season, it was really tough. And a lot of the time you're looking at Arteta's selection being like, bro, what are you doing? Even before the season started, it took up until the final preseason game, literally a few days before the start of the league, where we actually saw the midfield 3 of Zubimendi, Rice and Odegaard, which we thought would be our preferred. We later signed Eze. We've then had injuries. Arteta not playing the right players. But now he's finally let the handbrake off at Newcastle, and hopefully that continues. So look, West Ham, let's pick up 3 points, I beg. We know there's no guarantees. Fulham, come on. We've got some inside agents there. Smith Rowe, Wobinho, come on, just smash up Fulham. It's away from home. It will be tough. They can play a good game. I was watching one of their last games the other day on Match of the Day, and they can cause some danger, real talk, but we should have Fulham. Crystal Palace, though, this is going to be the big game. We are at home, South London coming to North London. You have the extra bite to the game because obviously we've taken Eze from them after they've had an incredibly successful season within the FA Cup and Community Shield. And on top of that, in the league, I don't know if you lot have properly deep this Premier League table. I know it's early, but you've got to shout out Glasner. 6 matches played, 12 points. 6 matches played and 12 points. 3 wins in the last 5. You've honestly got to big up Glasner here. He's done an incredible job, and they're unbeaten in 18 games, Crystal Palace. So it's going to be a tough game when they come to Arsenal. We're literally only 1 point apart so far. Honestly, with our difference being goal difference, and I wouldn't even say we've properly got our shooting boots on just yet, and somehow we've scored as much as Liverpool. So look, Crystal Palace, going to be a tough game, no doubt about it. Then we've got Burnley away, Sunderland away. The Xhaka Derby. But honestly, Arsenal, I honestly expect at least 12 points here, at least. And I think we can get 15. If Arteta, after this Champions League game, if he really allows this team to flow, if he continues to use his bench like the way he's doing now and let the handbrake off, I know he's not liking that handbrake turn, and also on top of that, not just the handbrake, let's actually dissect the handbrake. What does the handbrake mean? How can we actually release the team more? It's not just the players you're playing. We've now got Odegaard back. He put in two big chances. He set up 2 big chances in the game. Well, one was an assist, the other one was a big chance. The ball he slipped to Lewis Skelly through the Newcastle defense, and Lewis Skelly should have squared for Martinelli to score. And then obviously the assist for the goal. But other than that, he was picking up really good pockets, obviously due to the fact Newcastle sat in defensively, because obviously we had equalized towards the final embers of the game. But we're going to need to see, what I want to see more of is, if that double pivot is not working, which I've been advocating for, that double pivot, if that double pivot is not working because Zubimendi's not playing passes through the lines properly or well enough, or Eze is not like showing enough to pick up that ball in between the lines, because I think playing the game in between those lines with a competent midfielder who can play those passes quickly with speed, we were doing that a bit against Newcastle, is going to be the difference as to how we can break down teams and not over rely on the flanks. And we saw that in pockets at Newcastle. Eze had a very decent game doing that, actually, and managing to get himself closer to the final third. But what you want is your 6 to be able to spray the ball quickly to an Eze or an Odegaard between the lines, and that makes sure that Gyökeres stays high, that Saka can run in behind if he needs to, that Martinelli or Trossard on the left can do that if they need to, or Eze if he's playing on the left. So the other thing I also want to see is, if we're not seeing that from Zubimendi, because I don't think he's been, we've signed him supposedly for his ability to play the ball between the lines. I don't think we've been seeing that enough. And I think that's caused issues for playing through the middle of the park so much, and also Arteta's lack of putting Eze in his position. But if Zubimendi's not doing that, drop Rice to the 6, bench Zubimendi, and literally get, like we did against Newcastle, get Odegaard and Eze on the pitch. Get both of them on the pitch. And then I think that will change the dynamic so much. So yeah, look, I think we've got 5 favourable fixtures, tough but favourable fixtures coming up, and it's a good time to get those results in, moving towards the end of the year. Let's actually have a look where that takes us to if we're talking end of the year. So when does that final fixture? So we're talking Sunderland in that next 5. So if we check the format schedule here, 8th of November. So Sunderland is the 8th of November. If we can get to the 8th of November with 12 to 15 points in the bag, I reckon Chelsea drop points. Not Chelsea. I reckon Liverpool drop points. So look, let me know how many points you think we'll pick up. Honestly, I'll go based on West Ham, but if we play a good game at West Ham, and I see tactically we're releasing things a bit. It will be interesting to see what Arteta does now. Odegaard's back from injury. I think we can get 12 to 15. And let me know what you think, how many points you think Arsenal will pick up in those next 5 games, and how many points Liverpool will pick up in those next 5 games, because I think that can be a bit of a tide that will turn and change for us favorably if we do what we need to do, because I think Liverpool can definitely drop points due to the fact the defense is not great at this point in time. They're tinkering and moving players around quite a bit. Florian Wirtz, hasn't settled in too much yet. I think he will, but yeah, man. I think it's a good time for us to have just come off the back of the Newcastle win. Let me know what you think and how many points you think Arsenal will pick up in the next 5 games, and Liverpool as well. And yeah, fingers crossed for Olympiacos today. I might not be able to do a match reaction, but in any case, I'll catch you guys on the next one in a bit. Peace.